Hello guys, Judge here for one more guide, and this time we're going to talk about new players. Well, not only for new players of course. I'm going to give you guys 15 tips that can be useful for any player of course, but mostly for newer ones who are still getting the hang of the game and trying to, just level up and gear up as best as they can. This video might get too long if I talk too much, so I'm gonna try not to do that. So let's start with skill abilities. I do have a video for this, a very lengthy and in-depth guide on skill abilities, so you guys can check that out as well. But here I'm just gonna go quickly over these with you guys. So at the beginning of the game, you want to get just one ability and level it up to about 200, right? And just make sure you do that and you'll be good to go. In the beginning of the game, if you don't have any of these ones, the SS ones, just get Jinbe and level it up to 200, right? Until you get Birdcage or Entei or whatever, right? Check out the other video for more details. But if you're stuck on a boss, right? Let's say you have those Kuma bosses on story mode that you can't get past, just put all your points in Titanlands because it's the best tank killer in the game, like single target damage dealer in the game, and that will really help you get through those difficult stages, maybe in strong trial, maybe in story mode, right? So that's a little tip. But for the others, definitely Jinbei or Birdcage for damage, right? And Ace for healing is really nice too, depending on the characters that you have. But do check out the other video for more details on that. Number 2, character building. So people go on Discord a lot and just go like, oh, what dial should I get for this character? Like which weapon should I get? If you just go here, right, just go to review, crew match, it will generally tell you some good ones to go for, right? For example, sometimes it gives you the or options, right? So either warrior or upgrade, breath or tone. Right, this is because you can play the character in different ways, right? Sanji, for example, you can play him as a support or a tank. So breath for support, tone for tank, right? Warrior for support, upgrade for tank. Um, but a lot of them are simpler than that. For example, let's say Shiki, right? So if you go here, it's just fire or blaze, right? And destroy. But of course, this can also be upgrade because of other reasons. But sorry, not upgrade, warrior, but for other reasons, for speed and stuff. But destroy is fine, especially when it's just purple in the beginning, right? And flame, of course, this is great, and that's how you should play it. But if you're not sure, of course, you can always ask in Discord. But this is a great little thing that you can do at the beginning of the game to help you out, and you don't have to rely on other people, right? And same thing for the details tab here, the details option. You can see a lot of stats for your heroes and what they do if you click on the little question mark to see what each stat does, right? So it's pretty great in the beginning of the game to when you're getting the hang of it and when you want to know what each stat does. Okay, that's cool. So that's the character when you're building your character, right? And the gear is self-explanatory. Same for the sailing compass, right? Remember the dials. If you want to check what they do, just check out the set here, right? You have all the sets and what each level does. So this is pretty cool to pay attention to, right? So you want to get 5 stars because you want this bonus and stuff like that. Number 3, basic team setups, right? So if you go on our Discord as well, people always ask like, oh, which team should I use for this, or which team should I use for that, or which teams should I start with? Well, basically, in the beginning of the game, right, it depends. Do you want to go for the meta team, right, the strongest team, and the team that is going to be easiest, right? People generally say yes to that, so I'm going to focus on that today. But of course, this is not the only way to play. You guys can choose to do other things or choose other characters, right? But the strongest team that you can get at the beginning of the game is probably this one, right? Doflamingo, with Nightmare Luffy. But if at the beginning of the game you get Katakuri, what is it? Katakuri. This is it. So if you get him, then you can use him instead of Nightmare Luffy, right? He's pretty good too, right? It's an option. But Luffy, Nightmare Luffy, Law, right? But this one, the Supernova Law, not the other one, not this one, right? So Law Supernova, Sanji, here, Sanji Supernova, and Kuma or Marco, right? They're both good, right? You can use both of them. Kuma is a little bit better, but Marco later on. but Mako is a bit better earlier on, right? He focuses on dodge, and Kuma focuses on defense. Okay, so it's a tank, one of these two, right? Primary attacker, which is Dofi. Secondary attacker, which is Nightmare Luffy or Katakuri. Healer, Law, Sanji is the support, right? Sanji can also be a tank, so you can use Sanji as a tank. Then you remove Kuma or Mako, right? And then you can add another one. You can add someone else, like Enel or Sabo, right? But generally, it's better to have a tank in the beginning of the game, especially, right? And then you can choose what to do later on. But that's the basic team setup that you want. But let's say you want to go, I want to go crit. I don't want to play bleed because everybody plays bleed, so I want to go attack, right? Crit. Then it's the same thing. It's Law, Sanji, and one of the tanks, but instead of the Flamingo and Nightmare Luffy or Katakuri, then you're going to use crit attack characters, right? Which are Sabo and Ace. These are the best ones. These two are not so good, so you use Sabo and Ace instead of the Flamingo and the second one, which is Nightmare Luffy or Katakuri. Okay, so those are basically your two options. Of course, Bleed is better, especially for PvE. And PvP too, right? So it's better for both. But if you want something different, or if you, I don't know, you got Sabo and Ace at the beginning of the game and you're wondering if you should use them or not, so yeah, they're definitely usable, just not as good as the first option. Okay, number 4. Let's go to Pirate Ship. So this is a new feature, right? We just got this in the last update. And if you're new, especially if you're free to play, I'm not sure when is the next time that we're going to be able to get the ships. Maybe another ship event, maybe a set sale again, right? But when they do come, especially if you're not spending much or nothing, then you're probably better just going with the Going Merry, right? Just stay with the Going Merry for now. Don't purchase the other one because it's quite expensive, right? It's what 15-25k just to get to level to 3 stars. So don't do that for now because it's a good ship, right? It's better than Mary, but there are better ships coming, right? So you have to be very careful with your spending. Okay, this actually brings up my fifth point, right? Because spending is quite important and being patient is quite important. So this is patience, guys. Get the free one. This is basically free. It costs 3 gems, right? Last time. So be patient and spend only when it's best to spend, right? So that's one of the themes of this game, actually. Right, so number 5 is save up. Okay, so you want to save, guys. You see here I have 80k gems right now. Some people have 100k, some people have 20k. It really depends on what you're spending on and stuff, but if you don't save and you just spend on every event you see, then you're never going to get as strong as you could get, okay? Because spending 20k on each event is much worse than spending 80k on one event or 100k on one event, okay? Okay, sometimes it takes a bit longer for you to do things and you might get a little bit behind, but then when you do it, right, when you spend it, then you're gonna get a huge jump in power and well, in everything basically, right? So it's really good to save up. So what should you save up? Well, like I said, gems, right? Diamonds. Make sure you save them up. There are several good events to spend your diamonds on now. You can spend them on Brooks. There's a video on that. You can spend them on Wano. There's a video on that too. Wano has group buy as well, so group buy is really good for spending gems. As well as this new set sale event, you can also spend on that too, but that's not so good for gems. That's better for topping up. So yeah, gems are very, very important, and Wano is still the best event in the game overall. So it's good to have gems saved up for it if you can. At least 80k, 60k is the bare minimum, but you need to be very, very lucky, and you need to top up a little bit if you want to only spend 60k gems on Wano. But I do recommend 80 to 100k for Wano if you want to be safe, that you get lots of resources, lots of zones, lots of SSS characters, right? No, sorry, not lots, just one, one SSS card, but a good one, right? A top tier one. But yeah, apart from gems, what else should you save up on? Well, you should save up scrolls, right? So where are my scrolls? I'm lost. Okay, so these ones, right, the Mystic Recruit tokens. So this one is the one they use to summon the zones in the themed summon, which is this one, themed card pool. You go here and you can summon the zones. If you're a new player, you're wondering what the heck a zone is. Well, it's basically what you can use to replace SSS characters when you want to star them up, right? I need to star up from 1 star to 2 stars. Instead of using the shards for that character specifically, you can use zone shards instead. So yeah, so here you can use that. So you need to save them up as well as these ones, the advanced summon tokens, right? Why are you saving both of these, right? Because you're gonna have an event that's going to be to summon 200 times, right? You summon 200, use 200 scrolls, and they add up. They stack together. These ones and this one, so you can use 30 there and 170 in the other one, in the normal summon, right? Which is the pup here, right? You can use 170 here and 30 in the themed one, and they stack for the event. So in that event, it's better to save up for the event because you get more rewards, you get another zone as well, one more zone, and get 2 SS if I'm not mistaken, and SS also are very valuable. Okay, so that's a good thing to save up for. And also, let's see here, you want to save up pots. Where are the pots? I'm saving them up as well here. So these ones is the potions, right? The XP potions and the breakthrough potions. Try to save these up because every once in a while when your server is dying, they get merged, right? Your servers get merged, and when they get merged, you get an event. That's the Shanks event, which is the server event, and there is a thing called the harvest in those events, right? And the harvest, they give you I think it's 30% more or something like that, more of your resource, of the resources that you get during the event. So during the event, you open all of these, right? You just go there and open all of them, and what happens is you get 30% more, right? That's why I'm not using them now. I'm waiting for my merge, and then when I use them, they're going to be 30% more efficient. I think it's 30, but you guys get what I mean, right? It's definitely worth it. And same thing goes for the team instance packs. This is not for new players, I guess, because you need to have 2 months of playtime to unlock this, but it's still good to know because these also work, right? It's not everything that's inside that gets bonus, but some of the stuff does get bonuses, so it's good to save them up and only open them during the Shanks event, the merge event. Okay, number 6. Market and store. So let's go to the market. So market, you get free refreshes, right? And you should always be refreshing them and and buying stuff. Okay. At the beginning of the game, you might have more difficulties with berries, right? With gold, but it's generally worth to buy stuff with gold here. Don't buy this. This is very easy to get. Look at it. I have five. I have 500,000 of these, and I don't use them. It's very easy to get. Don't buy them. And stuff with gems, I wouldn't buy them in the beginning because you're saving for Wano and for Brooks and other events, right? So Allies Help as well. Allies Help is a very good way of getting SSS. So definitely not gem stuff at the beginning, but you can buy these, right? The blue potions. I'm not buying it now because I have more than enough, and at the moment I don't need it. It's okay. But for example, okay, I got really unlucky. Let me just do one more. Don't do this, okay, guys? I'm only doing it for the video. Don't genuinely refresh with gems. Okay, here, there you go. That's a nice one. So Healing Dandelion, or however you say that. These are also good to buy for Shibukai or for Impel Down. These are very useful. And if you get stuff like this or like this for gold as well is also good, right? The Milky Vibes, the Sea Stone Ores. What you can also get breakthrough potions. You can also get the practice passes as well. Another one that I actually like using diamonds for is the golden bell shards, right? I actually use diamonds for it because they're very difficult to get. You can only get them in events or here, yeah, or this one. So of course I always get them in events, and it still is not enough. So still I'm getting this here. What else? Okay, and I also genuinely I get this for gems, but like I said, if you're saving, you don't have to do it, but I generally do because these are actually quite cheap when they are at 25. 25 for 200 is pretty good. because it's a discount. It doesn't show discount here, but it's the same discounts as here, right? So 25 for 200, I buy it, and also when it's like 6 for 50 or something, 6 gems for 50, I think it's really good as well, or 8 or 6. So also you can buy that, and this one you can also buy if you want. I'm gonna buy it, sure. When it's like that, when it's 88 gems for 2, or when it's 50 for 1, or I think it's 25 for 1 as well. That's the one I buy generally, 25 gems for 1, or 80 for 2. That's the ones I generally buy, but you can also buy the 50 for 1 as well. Okay, so these are the stuff that you generally want to buy from the market. The store, alright. So the store, there are a lot of stuff here. Okay, so TI, you're just gonna buy the stuff that you need from here. You see that I bought everything already because I need everything, right? Dials, weapons, SSS, Mirage Souls. I don't need the SS one, so I don't buy it. Yeah, the stones, right? The mystic stones and the identify tickets, especially the deity potions. They're very valuable, very valuable. So it's one of the first things that you should buy. I don't need this because I don't have lots of weapons, but some people need it. Some people need it and they buy it, right? So, but if you're not a whale, if you're not spending money, then I don't think you're gonna need a lot of these, right? Because you're not getting a lot of weapons at the same, like at once, right? 10 weapons at once. Then you need lots of these, right? But it's not the case, so you can just get them through Shishibukai every day a little bit, right? And this one here, honestly, I've been buying these ones, but 3 to 5 you generally get 3s, and 3s are almost always useless, right? So I'm definitely thinking about prioritizing buying the SS crew shots because the SS are very valuable. Even late game they're very valuable because you need 10 of them to store up your SSS crews. So I'm thinking of just buying these every month. Like every month just buy this one, and if I have left then I can buy that maybe, but I don't think I'll have any left. So I think I'm just gonna focus on that from now on. This one is not worth it, this one is not worth it, right? So just choose between these two. If you don't have any haki, maybe it's better to start with this, but later on swap to that. Impel Down Store, you can get zone shots from here if you really want, but nowadays it's so easy to get zones from events that I wouldn't recommend it. And you can also get SS shots from here because, like I said, SS are very valuable. But I would recommend getting the weapons because even though it's a random weapon, you need lots of weapons in the future. Even the ones that are bad, you can use them to feed your other weapons for the aura level up. So it's I'm just buying it because I think it's the best option, and this one is not a good option, the gear, because you can get them easily through the idol chest. Right, and for the arena store, I generally buy the ones I need the most, the dials I need the most, so like fire and breath at the moment. And I'm saving up for the next refresh, which is in 3 days. I'm just gonna buy them again, like the 3-3. You can also get like the same thing as the other store, but I wouldn't, to be honest. I would focus on the dials here, right? And the Willstar, there's the basic and the advanced. Don't mind me, like this is all purchased for a specific reason that is not generally what you want to do or what happens. Okay, so just ignore that. But this one is not bad actually, right? You can either get the zones, which are nice because they're 8,000, or you could just get SS cards because, like I said, they're very difficult to get, and especially later on when you need loads of them. So you can get that, but never get these ones. Never get the SSS crews because they cost 12k, right? And they are the same thing because these ones are the ones that you already have. So you can just use a zone to level them up instead of using this specific one. So you buy the zone for 8k, and then even if you refresh and you buy another zone, that would cost you 8 plus 2k, right? So that's 10k, and that is still cheaper than buying this one. Right, so don't buy the SSS ones, only buy zone if you really need, or you buy SS depending on your situation in your account. And here, to be honest, I wouldn't really spend here unless you're in a very specific situation that I was. Well, sometimes you just need S crews, but I do believe that it's not that needed most of the time. I think you just gotta be a little bit patient sometimes. And if you're doing the summonings, as I said before, then you should be fine with S crews. Especially now that the bug has been fixed with the wish list. Okay, number 7, Blacksmith. So the Blacksmith, here you can just make your gear better, basically, right? You just use 3 of one level plus some sea stone crystals to compose the next level one. This is pretty self-explanatory, I guess, but this button is important, guys. So this button, it makes it so that the highest priority goes to the highest level gear, right? So let's say if you have 6,000 system crystals, right? You can make one 4-star hat, but if you don't have this on, if you have it off, then it's going to look for upgrades here, 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 here first, right? Here, and then here, and then here. It's going to look for the low level upgrades first, and then do them, and then when it gets to 4 stars, then you don't have enough system crystals anymore. But if you click on grade first, then it's going to check this one first, and then this one, right? So it's definitely better to use this in general, right? Because you want higher level gear, but depending on the situation, you could use one or the other and auto compose, or you could just do it manually, right? Just check what you need. I have these, and that's why I compose manually what I want, etc. Right? To change the value here, you can do that too. Alright, depending on your situation, but just so you know what this button does and to be careful while you're using or not using it with the auto compose. Okay. Alright, so number 8, Divination. Or is it Divination? Divination, probably, right? So let's go here. Right, so this one, I believe it's a hard story mode level 3, hard level 3, right? 3, maybe 10, 310. I'm not too sure, right? But at a certain point, you get to the VIP divination pool, right? So after that, after beating level 310, I believe, or something like that, then you are able to choose a zone from the divination pool. So this is an easy way of getting a zone, but early game, right? If you're very, very early game and you already have enough to do one, then you may want to get the Flamingo, or you may want to get something like Law, because you don't have something that is very useful for your team at the beginning, right? Or you might want to get Sanji or Kuma, whatever, right? So, okay, it is okay to do that in the beginning, especially like the first few days. But later on, you're probably gonna want to do zones, unless you have a lot of zones already. Then you might as well just save it up or use for SS if you really, really want. That's up to you. But generally, the best option is to get a zone from here. Because if you're not getting a zone from, if you are getting a zone from here, then it's one less zone that you have to get from 1.0 or from other events, right? Okay, so reborning. So let's go to the altar here. So reborning is quite important because when you reborn stuff, you can get resources back from stuff that you're not using, right? So let's say that you level up a hero to level, I don't know, 50, right? And you don't want to use that hero or that character anymore, right? So what you do, you come here to reborn, and then you reborn the character, use some gems, but then you get back the resources that you used to level it up. And the same thing goes for dials. As you can see here, I can select a dial and reborn it and get some stuff back. And the same thing goes for weapons as well. What's the downside? Well, you don't get everything back, right? You do get some stuff 100%, but a lot of stuff you get 80% back, okay? So be careful, especially with characters. It's not good to abuse this, right? Don't use it too much. Be careful which characters you're leveling up because, well, you have to reborn them, use gems, and you're gonna lose resources in the process. And if you don't want to lose resources in the process, this doesn't apply to dials or weapons, right? Dials or weapons, this is the only option that you have. But for crews, you can use succession, right? So this is number 10, succession. So there are 3 ones, which are Nightmare Luffy and Whitebeard, which these ones can be succeeded for free from them for free, okay? So from Nightmare Luffy to another character, or from Whitebeard to another character, it's free. But if not, then they cost quite a lot of gems, right? It depends on the star level of the character. The higher the star level, the more gems it costs, like 8,000, 10,000, it really depends on the character. And you can do this starting at level 120. So if you need to get rid of a character before that, then you have to reborn, right? But this is generally very worth it, especially at higher levels, because you don't lose your resources, which are very, very important, right? The resources are quite important in the game. So definitely keep an eye on this. Remember that you have this option, right? And use it after level 120. if you need to change your team, or just pass one character on to another. And it does for everything, right? It passes on everything. It levels, red star, breakthrough, everything goes to the other character. Okay, cool. And of course, Dissolve, I don't have to mention this, right? You just select the crews that you want to get rid of, and then you get will points back. And you can do the same thing for dials and for weapons, right? I don't believe I have any weapon. Yeah, I do have some weapons, some purple weapons, and purple, yeah. Okay, so I just dissolve them to get resources back, which is nice. Of course, in the beginning of the game, you're not going to be dissolving purple dials or purple weapons, but you can do that later on. Same thing here. Please don't dissolve S characters unless it's absolutely necessary for something very specific, and that's for more experienced players. But in general, don't do that because you're going to need like 20 of them just to start up one character once, right? 20 of these. So they're very important, like the SS characters are important too. Even though you can see like, oh, it's a big number, right? But it's not worth it, alright? So now 11. Number 11 is limit breakthrough. So let's go here to my Kizaru and limit breakthrough. So as you can see here, he's level 8 and I'm trying to get him to level 10. Right, but limit breakthrough is actually one of the things that give more power and more, especially attack and stuff like that to your characters. Generally, what you want to do, generally what you have is 2 attackers in your team, right? Let's just pretend I only have 2 attackers in my team. So you want to get them to level 10 as soon as possible, right? To get them to level 10, both of them. Right, you see, both of mine are level 10, so they're doing a lot more damage. They have a lot more stats because of that. So that is quite important, right? So try to, I mean, you can level up your supports a little bit, right? You get them to level 2 in the beginning, and then you can get slowly to 3, to 4. But I wouldn't get them past 5 until you get all your attackers, well, your 2 attackers to level 10. Right, but get them to level 10 as soon as possible. Your supporters, your healer, and your tank as well. Just leave them for later, okay? Because they don't benefit as much from the limit breakthrough. Okay, so it's really important. There is a guide about it somewhere in the Discord channel, but I do believe that you get them to level 10 before you even get these to level 5. It's something like that. Okay, but do keep that in mind and try not to level your supports up too much, especially in the beginning. Focus on your 2 attackers for the limit breakthrough. Alright, and related to the limit breakthrough is our number 12, which is team training. So team training is something that's very expensive actually. So you shouldn't touch this. Okay, don't even look at this before you get your attackers to level 10. Right, so my 2 attackers were level 10, and then I started leveling this up. Right, I got it to level 9, 10, but now I'm focusing on Kizaru because I'm using a 3rd attacker. It's something different. Don't worry about it. Right, but generally you want to get this as high as possible. Right, so which is level 10 before you get your characters to level, well, to the next level. Your support, your tank, your healer, they'll stay at level 5 until you get your team training to level 10. Right, so after you get this to level 10, then there's a limit, right? The limit is like your characters or your team needs to be at least that level times 2. So for example, like if you're the lowest in your team, the character with the lowest limit breakthrough in your team has 5, so it's 5 times 2. So you can only get this to level 10, right? So if it's 6, right? If the lowest in your team is limit breakthrough level 6, then you can get these to level 12, and so on. Right? I believe the maximum is 19 instead of 20 for some reason. I saw someone posting that, but it should be 20 to be honest. But I guess whatever, right? So there we go. So that's what you should do or you should not do with team training, right? Don't touch it until your attackers are level 10 and your supports are level 5. Alright, number 13 now, pirate crew. So your pirates. Okay, so at the beginning of the game, you guys are probably going to join a pirate crew, right? But make sure that you join the strongest crew in the beginning if you can, right? The strongest that you can join, because the stronger you are, the more bosses you can kill. The more bosses you kill, the more rewards that you get, right? The more rewards you get, the stronger that you're going to get in the game, of course. Right, so try to join, and if you don't join the strongest one, then just keep an eye on the other, on the other crews, and try to join them as soon as you can. Right, have a look like, oh, okay, so the strongest player is in this crew, so I'm going to join that crew as well. Right, oh, so all the strongest players are on the same crew, so I'm gonna join that crew. Right, so make sure you do that, especially in the beginning of the game, because you have lots of benefits from being in a strong crew. Right, so make sure that you're always collecting these. These give some nice resources for you, and pirate treasure as well. Sometimes it bugs out. Sometimes you can't do it because the other team's killed before you can. But just try to do that. And the training camp, we have a guide for this in the squad, so I'm not gonna go a lot into it. But just make sure that you're focusing on the ability, on the skill on the attribute that is more important for your team. So let's say your team has 3 or 4 skill characters. So you have to focus on skill, of course. You're not gonna do attack if you have 4 skill players. So make sure you focus on that. And if you're using attack players, attack characters like Sabo and Ace, for example, then you want to focus on attack instead of skill. Right, so this applies for all the skill characters in your game. This one applies for all the defense characters, and this one for all the attack characters in your team. So make sure that you do it based on what your team is focusing on. Of course, do check out the guide because it mentions which one to go for first, like which one is best to focus on when you're trying to level it up. So yeah, so have a look at that in our Discord server. Okay, so and now for number 15, which is not the last one because we have a bonus after that. So number 15 is a basic top-up tips. Okay, so of course not everybody is free to play, so in the beginning of the game you might want to top up and do stuff, right? And of course, unless you're very rich, you want to top up in the most efficient way, right? Even the whales want to do that, of course, but even people who are lower VIP, you want to always find the most efficient way to top up. Okay, and the best thing for you to get at the beginning of the game is the monthly pass, the permanent pass, right? The permanent pass is definitely the best value in the game, and also it unlocks this. It unlocks the permanent pass privilege, which is really cool. You can choose a character to collect after a certain amount of summons. And this is 160 summons, so if you do the 200 summons for the event, you can get a free SSS basically, but one that you already have, of course. So it's really nice to have a permanent pass privilege. So that's definitely the best value in the game. But apart from that, there are also other very good values like the war tokens, right? You can't go wrong purchasing these because you get 9,900 gems, and that's a lot for the price. Okay, so these are some of the things that are really good, and they are always there, so you can always purchase them. But apart from these, the best things that you can top up at are the Wano event, the group buy event more specifically, right? Group buy is at the same time as Wano, but group buy is definitely one of the best values. Like if you top up $5, you get 2 zones, which is a lot, and some other stuff like 2 million XP and stuff. So it's really good. Just like if you do it once during the event. Also, set sale is a very good event to top up as well. If you top up $30, you get an SSS as well in that event, which is really good. Even Brooks wine, I guess, is a little bit okay, but Brooks is better for gems, not top up. Okay, but there are other events, of course, as well that you can top up on, and you can maybe get some packs that you want. And there's also the ranking as well, the crossover ranking. As you can see, you can get more stuff if you're the highest the whale, if you're the biggest whale here. But also you get stuff like the daily discount, the valuable packs and daily discounts, which you can have a look. Sometimes there's some nice stuff here as well, so you can have a look at those. That's basically what you should be focusing on, right? The group buy event, the set sale event, getting the permanent pass, right? And buying the war tokens if you need gems, right? If you need diamonds, stage war tokens, then the trail war tokens. But if you're at the very beginning of the game, right? Let's go to our bonus now. Right, so it's related to 15, but let's go to that. I believe it's here. There we go. So at the very beginning of the game, right, on the third day, you are going to get a summoning event, which is different from others, right? So this is a bonus, but it's related to everything else that we've talked about, basically, right? Because this is the beginning of the game. So at the beginning, you don't want to use your summoning stuff, right? Don't use your scrolls. Your purple scrolls, which are these ones, don't use them in the first 2 days, right? You might be tempted to use them, but don't. Just try to survive for 2 days, do the best you can, just level up your cards, it's fine, right? In the beginning it's fine, and you also can get, where is he? You can get Luffy here, which is a very good Luffy to start with. Yeah, this one, right? So you can get Luffy, but on the third day, right, you get the event, the summoning event, and if I can find it, you see how good it is. It's this one, yeah, it's this one, right? So this is, instead of 200, which is the normal summoning event, this is 180, right? But look what you get, right? Let's ignore the first ones. But 100 summons, you get 20 shards, and 130, you get 30. So this is 1 SS. On the third day, it's 1 SS. Then you get another SS for 160 summons. Then for 180, you get another SS, which is, you can choose anyone. Here it says 3, but it's all of them. You can choose any of them. And you also get Law Supernova, which is, like I said before, a good character to have, right? So really nice, guys. This is awesome, right? To get 3 SS, one of them you're choosing, and another one is a very good healer, right? It's the best healer, SS healer, right? So straight away you can get, if you don't get Doflamingo before that, you can get it from here, right? But you're doing 180 summons, so you might get some SS from there. And you're also getting 2 SS from shards, and you're getting 2 more here. So it's at least 4 SS, maybe 5, maybe 6, depending on your luck summoning, right? So this is the best way to start the server. So on day 3, you already have a full team, basically, if you're a little bit lucky. Of course, you can get bad ones, but that's just life, okay? But definitely the best way, and this is the only time where I would advocate for spending gems or diamonds for summons. Okay, because if you're not topping up, then you might not get to 180. You might get like 140, 150 scrolls sometimes, right? Maybe less. So in those situations, it's okay to use gems because this is very, very much worth it, and this is gonna be a huge change for your team, a huge boost to your team quality and level. Okay, so definitely worth it, but only this time. In the future, it's not worth to use diamonds for summons, and you just only use scrolls, tokens, whatever you want. Okay, that's the thing that I want to talk about. Of course, there are more stuff in the beginning of the server. There are other things that you can do, that you can top up, etc. But there's also the Brookwine event, but this is a different Brookwine. Okay, this is not the one that we get globally in all servers. This is just the beginner one, right? So there's some stuff as well that you can get, but honestly, check out the Brookwine video. Don't spend your wines here unless it's something very cool, like very needed for you at the time, like Awakened Stones, maybe only Awakened Stones, to be honest. The only thing I would spend on the beginning of the game, right? Because wines are very, very valuable as well. They can use them for other very cool stuff in the future. Okay, but there you go. I think that covers everything that I'm thinking of. It's a very long video, but at the same time, there's a lot of cool stuff, especially for new players. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. And always, as always, just go to our Discord channel and ask questions if you need. There are always people there to help and to give advice, or just answer your questions and doubts. All right. So I'll see you guys around next time. If you have any suggestions for future videos, just leave a comment below, or if you have any questions as well. Okay. See you around, guys. Bye bye.